graders. Today we're going to be practicing jumping and landing at varying distances and heights. So the first activity that we're going to do is patterns with jump ropes. And everybody's going to get a jump rope just like this, but there's a few rules. You have to leave your jump rope on the ground. And at first we're going to start out only jumping with 2 feet and landing with 2 feet. So we're going to have to remember our cues. Remember, we're going to squash and then swing forward over the rope. And your goal is to make it over the rope without landing on the ground. You want to land on your feet, okay? And everybody's going to get a rope. You're going to line up. They're already laid out for you guys. And we're going to go for a couple minutes practicing our jumping. And if you can get over the rope with both feet 5 times, you can move on to doing 1 foot, like starting on 1 foot over here and landing on 2 over here. Or you can switch and do both feet on this side and land on 1 foot on the other side. So can everybody stand up, and we're going to practice jumping in one place by yourselves first, over here. And we're going to remember our cues, so we're going to squash and swing forward. So we swing our arms forward to get distance, okay? So why don't we go stand over by a rope, and you guys can get started. So stand on one side and you'll jump over. There we go. And remember, once you do 5 times, you can switch to landing on 1 foot. Okay, if we want to add a little bit more to this and make it a little bit more challenging, we can take our rope and we can make a shape out of it over here for us to jump over, so it's not just jumping over a rope. So we can make a circle and jump over it that way, like that, or you can make whatever shape you want. And try jumping with 2 feet first. Your S.
To infinity and beyond. Okay, class, come over here, circle up. We're time to move on to the next task. So great jumping, great squashing and forward arms forward. And so now we're moving on to task 2, which is hoop, hop, and freeze. So you guys are gonna be running around, and when you get to a hoop, you're gonna jump over it with 2 feet on the floor, and then jump, land with 2 feet, and we're gonna squash like we did before, move our arms backward and then forward again. And if you want height this time, a new way is to make sure our arms go up in the air for maximum height. So what are our 3 cues? There's squashing, moving arms forward for distance, and up for height. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna jump over the hoop, and once you land, you're gonna freeze so that I know that you guys can balance with your ankles and squash to absorb the jump. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So let's run, you guys, come on. And when you get to a hoop, you hop and freeze. Woohoo, go. Next hoop. Hop and freeze. Woohoo, come on, let's go. And once you can do it 3 times, we're gonna keep going, and then we're gonna move on to landing with 1 foot. Good job, you guys. Okay, let's see if we can do this with 1 foot now. Let's run up to our hoops and then put our arms backwards while we're squashing. Put them upwards for maximum height and distance, and then we're going to try to land on 1 foot this time. Woo! Good job. Keep up the good work, you guys. Good squashing. It's a little bit harder to land on 1 foot, huh? Good job.
To infinity and beyond. Okay guys, next we're gonna work on jump roping. So when you jump rope, you're gonna stand on your rope and pull it up so it reaches your underarms. Does this rope fit me? No! Okay, I want everyone to go grab a jump rope and meet me over here. For jump roping, we're going to learn 2 new cues. Our first one is head up. So that means we're all going to keep our heads forward and looking up so we don't trip into anyone or anything. Our next cue is jump jump, which means we're going to do 2 small jumps when you're jumping rope. One to jump over and a little one to keep it going. Does everyone want to try? Yeah! Okay. Make sure you're spread up and don't hit anyone.
To infinity
And beyond!
Okay, so everyone put away your jump ropes over there and then come sit over on the floor again. So earlier we were jumping outside the hoops. Now we're going to be jumping from inside the hoops. So who can remind me what our cues are? Squash. So what do you do when you squash?
Bend down.
Okay, so what's the next cue?
Swing forward.
Can you show me? Okay, so what's the last cue that she did?
Up.
So she just jumped basically up. Okay, so now when we jump through these hoops, we'll stay from inside one hoop and we'll jump into the next hoop. But when we do this, instead of just doing it randomly, I'm going to give you a beat, and every 4th beat, I'll tell you to jump in the beginning, but it'll be louder, so you'll know the jump. So, and I'll change the speed, so you'll know when you jump will change. And also, we have to remember when we're jumping from one hoop to the next to be buoyant so that when we jump, we don't fall over. And try not to jump into a hoop that someone else is in, so that we don't hit each other. Okay, so let's start. So you can pick out a hoop away from your partner. Okay, so now, instead of jumping from 2 feet to 2 feet, let's practice jumping from 2 feet to 1 foot. Okay. Okay, so now let's practice jumping from 1 foot and leaping to the next foot. So now that we're pro at jumping from hoop to hoop, I'm going to have you jump to some music. What's something that we should take into consideration now that we don't have a beat?
Watching not run into each other.
Okay, so we shouldn't jump into a hoop if someone else is already in it. Okay, so let's start some music. And you can choose whatever jump you want.
Who let the dogs out? 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 When the party was nice, the party was jumping. Hey, yippee-yi-yo, and everybody's having a ball. Oh, yippee-yi-yo, I tell the fellas stop the name calling. Yippee-yi-yo, and the girls pour to the call.
before we move on to the next activity, we are going to go over our cues one more time. So does anyone remember the first cue that we went over?
Yes, squash.
Squash. So we're all going to practice it one time. You can practice it by jumping to the hoop. Let's all jump in a certain way so you don't hit each other. So let's practice squashing. So we bend with the knees, and then we jump. All right, you guys all think you got that? Okay, next cue is we're going to be putting for hands out and hands up to get speed. So it's basically you're adding squashing in there, but you're putting your hands up, and then you're swinging them forward as you jump to get height. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And the next cue we're going to add is for this next activity, we always need to have our heads up when we're doing this one. So you're going to make sure you jump in front of you and just keep your head a little bit forward, but make sure you can still see in front of you. So jump, heads up. Alright, and the next cue is buoyancy. We need to make sure that we're really buoyant with our knees, so when we jump, we're not just jumping like this and we fall on our butts. We want to be able to jump and absorb it, so that way we don't fall out or forward. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so class, we're going to move on to our next activity. So I'm going to have you guys come over here. So since we have an uneven amount today, I'm going to be partners with one of you, but the game that we're going to be playing is called Mirror Mirror. I'm going to go over some of the jumps that we practice, so I'm going to choose Danielle as my partner to practice some of our jumps with. So basically, anything, we're going to stand about 10 feet-ish apart from each other, and basically she's going to copy every jump that I do. So she's the mirror of me. So if I jump forward, Danielle also jumps forward. If I jump sideways, she also jumps sideways. If I jump backwards, she also jumps backwards. So, if we can, spread out, you guys down here, and you can basically do whatever jumps you feel comfortable the most with. So we're going to do this for about a minute, and then we're going to switch to go to the next partner. You guys think you got it? Alright. So, pick whatever partner wants to go first. Maybe rock, paper, scissors if you can't decide. Alright. Ready, go. Make sure you're practicing that buoyancy with your knees. All right, pause. Now switch. We're gonna have the next partner's turn. All right, ready, go.
To infinity
And beyond.
All right, let's move over to our hopscotch squares and we're gonna play our game now. So we're gonna put all of the skills that we've worked on today together and we're gonna play hopscotch. So what are some of the skills that we covered today? Yeah?
Squashing.
Squashing. Can someone tell me another one?
Swinging forward.
Swinging our arms forward. What about our landings?
Buoyant.
Buoyant landings. So we absorb it with our knees. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hop down our hopscotch squares with 2 feet. So we're gonna jump from 2 feet and hop into the next box, landing on 2 feet. Now we're gonna do the same thing again. And when we get to the double squares, we're gonna put 1 foot in each box. So we'll jump for this, and we'll jump forward with our feet apart. And then to go to the next single again, we're going to
squash and swing and put our feet back together. Are we ready to try that? All right, pick a hopscotch square. Go on your own time. Make it all the way down to 8. Okay, and when you're done with 8, let's move it back down. Let's try it one more time. Good job. Okay, now let's gather over here again and I'll demonstrate our next task. So this time, if there's one square, we're gonna hop with 1 foot. So we'll hop to one and hop to the other. And then we'll hop to both because there's 2 squares next to each other. And then from here, we'll go from 2 feet to 1 foot and 2 feet and 1 foot again. And you can go whichever foot you'd like. So you can go from this foot to the same foot again, or you can go from your right and leap to your left. Okay, let's try that a few times. Good job. Okay, and let's gather over here again. And now we're gonna play hopscotch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna toss our rock and we're gonna try and get it into a number. So we'll call that 7. Thank you. So we're gonna hop down, again 1 foot in each box. So we'll hop down and pick up our rock. Okay, and then when you're done, just walk out and let's go back around again and we'll try it. Let's do this 4 times, okay? So here's some rocks for you. Try and make it in a box. Good job. That one doesn't bounce very well. There you go.
Let's call that 8.
Yeah. Alright, is everyone done with their 4 turns?
Yes.
Alright, let's meet up over here again and I'll show you our next. Can I borrow your rock, please? Thank you. And let's remember that we're not going to use the rocks for anything except putting them in our squares. So we're not throwing them outside of our squares and we're not throwing them at anyone or anything, okay? So this time we are going to toss our rock again. And it's going to make it into number 8. And this time we're going to skip our double squares. So we're not going to go in 3 and 4, and we're not going to go into 6 and 7. So I'll hop down on 1 foot and skip. And then I'm going to pick up my rock and skip that one again. And then I made it across, right? So what cue is important for this task? Can anyone tell me?
Swinging arms.
Swinging our arms. So when we are at 2 and we have to go to 5, we need to swing our arms out for our distance. Okay, are there any questions? No? All right, here's your rock back, and let's try that 3 times. And you can put your both feet down when you bend over to pick up your rock so you don't fall over, okay? Are you done with your 3 times? One more.
take a seat. So we talked a lot about cues today to help us with our jumping and landing. And now we're going to review all those cues. So I'm going to pass out a piece of paper and everybody's going to write down the cues that they remember that are important for jumping and landing. Grab a pen. Here's a piece of paper, and this is going to be your exit slip for today. But as soon as we're done with this, we'll be done. My name is Danielle Stevens and I taught Task 1, Patterns with Jumping and Landing at the pre-control level.
Hi, my name's Olivia Reidman. I taught Task 2, Hoop Hop Freeze at the pre-control level.
I'm Mackenzie Josephson and I taught Task 3 Jumping Rope at the utilization level.
Hi, I'm Sarah Nodewum. I taught Task 4 Jumping to an accented beat at the control level.
Hi, my name's Courtney Johnson. I did Task 5 Mirror Mirror and it was the utilization control level.
Hi, I'm Megan Gear. I taught the end game hopscotch at the utilization level.